So today I'm going to teach holographic breathing, and in holographic breathing there's a gentle motion of the jaw. On the in-breath the jaw is opening, on the out-breath the jaw is closing. Along with that, all of the time the lips are closed, the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and the breath is through the nose. So it's held. The movement of the jaw is held by having the lips being closed and the tongue on the roof of the mouth. So it's only a small motion of the jaw, and it's kind of an initiation when people learn it. I teach it in a system of exercise, and suddenly it starts working. It synchronizes with the breath. Then it's just going. It's like a new form of breathing opens up, and healing dynamics open through it. The body starts restructuring, the brain starts restructuring, you start connecting to the earth, you start connecting to the higher self, and all sorts of different energy systems start working. If you're new and you're one of those people who haven't done holographic breathing, best not to try doing the movement of the jaw just yet, but become used to having your lips closed and the upper surface of your tongue on the roof of the mouth. So it's the tip of the tongue is close to or touching the front teeth, and the upper surface of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And it's as much as feels comfortable. It may be half an inch, maybe a whole inch, maybe the whole tongue. Whatever feels comfortable. It must feel comfortable. That's the main thing. So for the new people, just get used to that first, and then that will just make the whole jaw movement much easier when we get around to it. So there are also channels in holographic breathing. I tell people about these because maybe it's just me, I don't know, but when I teach holographic breathing, these spiritual channels come down, the earth comes up, and these kind of people come and teach for me, kind of over my mouth, and they do it for me. And that may not be with everyone, but I think it is. I think holographic breathing is a spiritual, I mean, there is the physical motion of holographic breathing, there is a whole energetic healing system that opens up, but also with this movement of the mouth, it spreads to a movement of the face and a movement of the cranium and brain. As all of this starts breathing, it starts opening the higher centers that connects the higher self and the divine beings. And it also connects to the divine energies of the earth. So there's a spiritual context to holographic breathing. It's not a cathartic type breathwork system, or not really an emotional release type breathwork system. It's very soft. You know, emotions will come up to the surface, but they come up at a level where you can integrate them in meditation, and they will move from emotions to the mind clearing. They will move from emotions to the body unwinding and clearing. They don't just stay in the emotions, that you've got to clear the emotions. It will move up and down and transcend. In holographic breathing, there's this strong connection to the divine energies, and you don't really clear things until that connection is made. Otherwise it just rotates in you. You know, you may become more used to it, you may integrate it to a certain level, but until that pattern, until that dialogue, until that physical pain, illness, whatever it is, and functionality connects to its corresponding part in the divine energies. That is where it starts healing. That is where it can transcend. That is where it's going to evolve. So a holographic breathing is a meditational breathing self-healing facility, but it's also spiritual evolution. It will connect your counterpart in the spiritual energies, your higher self, your reflection, your channel, whatever you want to call that, in the subtle realms. You know, we have this physical body, we have an emotional body, we have an intellectual body, we have a psychic body, and we have a spiritual body. And people think of that as separate. All spirits are coming to me, all the higher self is coming to me. In reality, that higher self is part of us and part of human evolution, is to own that part of yourself that is beyond. Quite often people think of, oh, I'm here on earth and this is me, and those angels and those beings are another. But my experience in holographic breathing isn't that they are another, that they are part of us. And the more you connect up and down through that channel, the more that opens, and you can work with different things that come up in holographic. Most of the time you don't even notice them, they're just grinding their way through, but at a certain point they connect up through the brain to the higher self, and then there's some freedom. It dislocates the mind mechanism. You know, you have a physical component, you have a emotional component, you have a mind component, and you have to address the intellect at some point. And at a certain point, as the energies go through the brain, you are no longer that, and the energies go through this wheel, or whatever you want to call it, wheel of Dharma, and then connect to the beyond, and you can let go of your karma. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I guess the first day of the new year, we're letting go of the old. And you can say, I'm going to let go of the old, but that doesn't always do it. Sometimes you've got to actually do a process. You can sing Auld Lang Syne quite a few times. It doesn't mean it's actually going to work. But this does work. Lots of things work. And so I just guess that is part of today's webinar. I had no idea I was going to talk about that. I thought I was going to talk about anatomy. But obviously that is part of today's webinar. Letting go and resolving our karmic load, our heritage, our past lives, our bardo, our accumulation of lives, our karma, whatever you want to call that. Letting go is one thing, but integrating it and allowing it to align with spirit. You know, you can go to a therapist or a counselor and they can deeply heal you, or they can, I don't know that anyone can heal you, they can deeply listen to you, so you're heard and you feel witnessed and you feel somebody is sensing what you're talking about. But also you can do that with the heavens. The heavens can heal you or hear you or see you deeply. But you have to be willing to be heard and to be seen. And sometimes you just have to ask, because sometimes spirit, the higher self, is just going to stand aside until you say, oh, I want this. Can we work together? Quite often people think, well, they're naturally going to be doing that anyway, but maybe that's not always the case. Maybe they have to wait to be invited. So we're going to invite that in today. You don't have to invite that in for yourself, but I'm going to offer that to the group to do that consciously. And before we go into it, let's just do that now. Everybody closing your eyes. And just for a little bit, thinking about what you would like, what you would let go of, what you would like to resolve in yourself. And then talking with your higher self, your higher beings, and saying, I would like to resolve this. I would like to let go of this. I would like this to be resolved. And it may mean in the long run of it you have to go into it more strongly, or it may mean it can just go. There may be some reason that you don't want it resolved. So it needs a willingness on your part to let it go. But the offer is to talk to your higher self, that somehow in this free webinar you will let go of, you will resolve something that you want to resolve. Okay, good. You can allow yourself to come back. Okay, good. So, first of all, I will teach holographic breathing, or we'll be doing one meditation. In that meditation, I'll be teaching holographic breathing at the beginning, and that's good for everybody, whether you've learnt it or not. It's good to go through those stages and sink into it afresh. And then we're going to go on to be working, there's a breathing motion that starts from the jaw and spreads through the whole body. And then we're going to work with a breathing motion of the hands and feet, the arms and legs, that comes the other way. The breathing motion starts from the mouth and connects this whole body breathing. And then also there's a breathing motion of the hands and feet. Let's get a foot. Here's a foot. So, the breathing motion. I'm going to tell you this all in advance just so that you know what's going to happen, and then we can just do one. We'll bring in the energies of the meditation, and then we can just do one long meditation. So I'm going to talk about it first so you know what's going to happen. You can bring in the energies of it, and then we will go into the meditation. So first we'll be learning holographic breathing, and then we'll be learning a movement of the hands and feet to go with it. And the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands are like diaphragm. So that is the out breath in the diaphragm with the foot slightly cupped. Breathing in, flattening. Breathing out. See how a diaphragm dropping and opening, doming and rising. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. So there's that motion of the foot, and this breathing motion of the body will start rising up from the feet up through the body. The same thing with the hands. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And you don't have to remember this, because I will be talking about it in the meditation. And we'll start, because people will mainly just flap their foot, breathing in, breathing out, because that's what people know how to do. They're pulling the toes up, breathing in, breathing out. But we will start with that, but there has to be the same effort through the heels as there is through the toes. So it'll start breathing in, breathing out. But then when we have, so for the toes to lift, the muscles are tightening through the front of the leg. For the heel to lift, the muscles will tighten through the back of the leg. So the toes are being pulled up and the foot's being pulled up, but the heel is being pulled up as well. So you get breathing in, breathing out. So the foot stays flat. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. So the calf muscles, the back of the legs are tightening. And what happens is basically the whole legs and the whole arms, the muscles are kind of tightening and flattening the hands and feet on the in-breath, and then they're relaxing and cupping the hands and feet on the out-breath, or they're coming to more of a cupped rest on the out-breath. And people think of all the in-breath, everything expanding and relaxing. It's not so. The lungs are filling with air and expanding, but everything else stays the same volume. So for it to expand in one direction, it shortens in the other. And the lungs may be opening, but all of the muscles of the abdomen, the back, the chest, the neck, the head, they're tightening to lift the ribs on the in-breath, to let them relax down. So the muscles are tightening through the body to lift the chest, relax the chest down. The muscles are tightening to pull the diaphragm down on the in-breath, to let the diaphragm rise on the out-breath. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. So, and it's the same with the arms and legs. There's this tension building on them on the in-breath to encourage the breath. Then relaxing, or to integrate into the breath, so you get a whole body breath. And you'll notice when this happens, well, when you start doing holographic breathing with the mouth, instantly you become very relaxed, everything slows down, everything becomes more subtle. You go into deep relaxation, the breath generally becomes a lot more slower. When you include the hands and feet, it drops down another level, and normally when I do that, my breath is about a half to a third of the speed. So I'm kind of breathing twice a minute, something like that, and it will vary for everybody. It will give you a different duration of breath. It will give you a much deeper breath. You'll feel the diaphragm opening and opening and opening and opening and opening. And then as the legs relax, you'll feel diaphragm relaxing and relaxing and relaxing and relaxing. So the legs are more activating the abdomen and the diaphragm. The arms are coming in above, they're more the diaphragm, the lungs and above. So both of them will work the diaphragm, but the arms are higher in the body, the legs are lower, and the legs will work through the whole body. So we'll be doing that. we've been slowly building these. This is, I think, the third or fourth webinar. So we're kind of building so you can go through. The first one we just did the hands and feet. Second one, or the solstice one, we included still points. Now in this one, or spaces between the breaths, and we are going to do the spaces between the breaths in this one, but I'm going to include something else. So the new people might find there's quite a lot to do in this, but the people who've been coming to every one, it will lead one from the other. Now I'm just going to have to turn the fire down. It's getting a bit hot in here. 1 minute. Okay, so we started off with the hands and feet, then that rose into the arms and legs. Now I'm going to show you how the pelvis works, and we're going to work with the breathing motion in the pelvis. So this movement through the legs then joins to the pelvis, and then that relates directly to the cranium and gives you a deeper breath through the whole body. See how that's round? Nice round hole in the middle of your pelvis there, and it's all joined. It can't expand in all directions. It can't expand that way and this way, because that's a circle. If it expands this way, it has to shorten back to front. It's upside down. It has to shorten back to front, and that's what happens. Is the pelvis, there's the muscles. It's a subtle movement. It's not a large movement, but it feels large. There's an opening to the sides on the in-breath, and there's a shortening back to front on the in-breath, and then there's a narrowing together on the out-breath and a lengthening front to back. So that's generally how the pelvis breathes. And the bones, the joints in the bones kind of move and open and close, but also there's a torsioning. When there's a flexion to bones in the body, I know when they're dead they're hard, but in the body there's a suppleness to them. They're like willow, and they will torsion and bend, and the action of the muscles of the legs and the muscles of the abdomen and the muscles in the pelvis, when they're tightening on the in-breath, they torsion the pelvis to move in different directions. Then on the out-breath, as they all relax, they all move back to where they started from. So it is opening on the in-breath. It did it on its own. Out-breath, it closed. I don't know if you can see that. I'll do that again. When I open it, you might see the sacrum at the back. It automatically tipped under. Let's see if that does that again. There it goes, breathing in, breathing out. The movement of the sacrum, and this is the same as in craniosacral therapy. That's the sacrum, that bone at the back. The movement of the sacrum is, now we're not going to go into this a massive amount of detail. It's a beginner's group, but I thought I'll just address it in a small way, and people can do it to whatever level feels good. It's hard to do it in a way that you can see it. Breathing in, it tucks under. Breathing out, it rocks back. So let's just see. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. So the pelvis stays the same tilt. Breathing in, the sacrum is rotating under. Breathing out, it's rotating back. So this all opens, the sacrum rolls under. This all closes, the sacrum rolls back. Now, this will straighten and bend the spine. This will start flexing and moving the spine, because while the sacrum, see how the spine rocks backwards as it tucks under. Well, it can't rock back because there's this big whole long spine there. So let's see if I can do this. What way round is that? Okay, if this is the sacrum kind of tilted back, and then this is the arch of the spine, As the sacrum tucks under, the spine straightens. As the sacrum rocks back, you get this bow. So it's bowed on the out breath. The smaller back's got this arc in it coming down into the sacrum. As the sacrum tucks under, everything straightens as the sacrum goes back. So it's starting to move the spine. So that is the first one we will be working on. The second one, we will be working with this sideways motion, and we'll just have to connect to the outside of the legs, and they connect to all these muscles at the sides. Just get this breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. So that's the second one we're going to do. The third one we're going to do, because I said it in the last email, we're going to work with the psoas muscle. The psoas muscle comes from the back. There's a notch at the back of this bone in the thigh, and it comes up to around here, then it treks back, connects to the spine, and works all up through the spine and all up to the diaphragm and through the diaphragm. It relates to the whole spine, it relates to the breath. And one of the things that the psoas muscle does, as you breathe in and it tightens, everything will balance, but you can exaggerate the movement of the psoas because what it does, because it joins on the back of this bone, as it tightens, it rotates the leg out. So if that's the leg with the foot on it, one of the things the psoas will do is rolling it out, rolling it back in, rolling it out. So if that's the foot up, out, in. And as it's tightening, it rolls it out. And as it's relaxing, it rolls back. So we're going to include that. It's going to be flattening and breathing in, cupping and breathing out. So that will exercise the psoas muscle. So I've told you everything we're going to do. And I know that's a bit complicated. And do it to the best of your ability, or to not the best of your ability, whatever feels comfortable. If you're new, you might just want to do that very basic learning of holographic breathing all the way through without actually adding anything to it. If you've done the previous webinars, you will probably want to do all of it. So choose the bits you want to do. Even though it sounded complicated in the doing of it, hopefully I'm just going to make it really easy for you. And on top of that, I'm going to add in the spaces in the breath. So as you drop into the spaces in the breath, everything breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. If you stop, especially in the out breath where everything's relaxed, it gives a chance for things to start adjusting, relaxing, moving, for the energies to release, the kundalini to rise. So we'll be working with the energies of the spaces between the breath. And on top of that, we're going to be talking to God. What's not to like? All of that in one free webinar. I'm surprised the whole world isn't in this webinar. I mean, I'm just giving away so much for free on this January the 1st, and all the people who weren't so wasted last night that they can actually turn up are going to get all of these goodies to heal you, especially God. I mean, who doesn't need God? There's not many people who don't need. Now, I'm not talking about Christian God as well, but it's everybody, the higher self, that thing that everyone wants, that loving forever enlightenment beyond all God experience. I can't give it to you, but if you ask and you do your best, you never know. It might happen. And I'm sure if enough people connect to that energy, well, it generally does, you know, even though we're spread around the world. And what happens in these groups, it is a group, and when everybody says hello to each other and sends each other love, I feel that it comes down the airways really strongly. And when I feel these presences coming down into the group, a lot of people, good majority of people, they say, when did you feel the channels coming in? People can generally feel the channels coming in at the same time. So even though we're not in the same room, we are to some extent in the same space. We're creating a space. And talking about creating spaces, I'm going to make it, because everybody's here now, and I get it, so everybody says hello and welcome to everybody. So it's not just me and you, it's everybody to everybody. Be generous with your love to everybody. I'm going to put my headphones on. I feel like one of those market traders when you say, what's not to like? It's like, you're getting God, you're getting leg movement, you're getting arm movement for free. All right, so holographic breathing, the lips are relaxed and closed. The tongue is relaxed and on the roof of the mouth. Tip of the tongue close to or touching the front teeth. The upper surface of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. And it's as much of the tongue on the roof of the mouth as feels comfortable. So it may be half an inch, it may be an inch, it may be the whole tongue, but it must feel comfortable. It can't be a stretch. The breath is through the nose, and within that, on the in-breath, the jaw gently opens, small motion, 3 or 4 millimeters, half a finger width, gently opens. And on the out-breath, the jaw gently closes. And at a certain point, this just integrates into the breath. So I'm just going to demonstrate it for 5 or 6 breaths, just so you can see that it's subtle, that the lips stay closed, and the breath is through the nose. Okay, and it just becomes very, very relaxed, very blissful, very quickly. This brings in a new way of breathing. All right, we're going to start. I'm going to turn my mic up just a little bit, and we will begin. If you're new, start off sitting up. To actually learn it, be sitting up, because I knock people out. They go to sleep, or the channels knock people out, or holographic breathing knocks people out. So you need to stay awake long enough to actually have learned it. So if you're brand new, start this sitting up. Once the holographic breathing starts, it's fine to lie down once you have it, because it doesn't matter if you fall asleep, you've already learned it. You will want to lie down. Once we start doing the hands and feet, That's much easier to be lying down with that arms and legs straight. So halfway through this, or if you already know it at the beginning, it might be best to be lying down. All right, we're going to start. So for the new people sitting up, it's just a normal breath. There's no faster or slower. It's not connective breath. You get pauses, and just a natural breath. Okay, we are going to start. If you know holographic breathing, doing holographic breathing. If you don't, just doing a natural, easy breath. And sending a smile, sending some energy to the earth. Allowing the earth to say hello back. Allowing yourself to receive from the earth. And notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies. And sending a smile, sending some energy to the higher self and the beneficial energies. And asking the higher self and the beneficial energies to say hello back. The beneficial energies are any divine guides, teachers, energies, anything that is beneficial and good for you, divine teaching or healing of any kind. And asking the higher self and the beneficial or divine energies to say hello back. Notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies. And asking the earth, the higher self, the divine guides, divine energies, to be with you as a healing presence through the whole webinar, as your resource and as your healing. So the lips are closed, the upper surface of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, tip of the tongue close to or touching the front teeth. And then just start off with just opening and closing the jaw, keeping the lips closed and letting the jaw bounce up and down. Notice while your jaw moves, you can keep the lips closed. Now, as the jaw opens, slowing that down, and as the jaw opens, allow the breath to come in through your nose. And as the jaw closes, the breath comes out through your nose. Jaw slowly and gently opening, breath comes in through your nose, jaw slowly closing, the breath comes out through your nose. Notice it starts to feel like a bellows. As the jaw opens, it draws the breath in. As the jaw closes, the breath leaves. Nice, long, slow, relaxing the jaw open, deep in-breath. Nice, long, slow, closing, the breath leaves. Small, relaxed motion of the breath. Relax the back of the neck. Relax the back of the head. Relax your whole body. And we're going to change the gestalt on that. Take the emphasis from the jaw and bring it to the nose and the breath. As you breathe in, the jaw gently opens. As you breathe out, the jaw gently closes. Breath comes in through your nose, the jaw relaxes open. The breath comes out through the nose, the jaw relaxes closed. Notice how it becomes much softer as you move from the jaw to the breath. Everything gets softer, everything becomes more meditative. Breathing in, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the jaw relaxes closed. The lips stay relaxed and closed all of the time. The tongue stays relaxed and on the roof of the mouth. Relax the back of the neck. Relax the back of the head. So breathing in, the teeth will separate, the jaw will open, the teeth will separate. Breathing out, the teeth will come back together. Just very gently relax together, no pressure. Or the teeth can be slightly separate. Relaxing through your whole body. It just feels more and more natural. As the chest opens, the jaw relaxes open. As the chest closes, the jaw relaxes closed. They move together. The abdomen opens, the jaw relaxes open. The abdomen closes, the jaw relaxes closed. The movement completely integrates and it just starts to become natural. And this new breath starts moving through your whole body, through every cell, through your brain, through your face. Notice how your face and cranium have started to breathe in a very subtle way. You may feel energy moving through your spine, through your brain. You may feel yourself connecting to the divine energies. Being aware of the arms and legs, the breath in the arms, legs, hands and feet. Now we're going to bring in the motion of the feet first. And we'll start with just flapping the feet, so breathing in. If you want to lie down, now's a good time to lie down. Breathing in, the teeth will flap, the feet will flap up. Breathing out, the feet will flap down. Notice how the feet connect with the movement of the jaw. The feet lift, the jaw drops. The feet drop, the jaw rises. They're pulling together on the in-breath. They're drifting apart on the out-breath. There's muscles connecting from the toes all the way up to the jaw and tongue, and as they tighten, the toes lift, the jaw drops. They pull towards each other on the in-breath, and they relax away from each other on the out-breath. And then feeling that from the heels as well, so the toes are lifting, the heels lift, and it tightens through the back of your legs, the back of your pelvis, back of your body, the back of your head. Breathing in, the heels and toes lift, the foot flattens, the whole leg torsions, and you take this deep, long, diaphragmatic breath. Breathing out, the leg relaxes, the foot relaxes and cups. Long, slow out breath. This will ground it. Breathing in, the front and back of the leg are tensioning. The foot flattens. Breathing out, the front and back of the leg are relaxing, the foot cups. You can do the same with the hands. You need the arms kind of straight and relaxed by your side. Breathing in, the heels of the hands and the fingers pulling up. The hand is flattening. Tension through the arms. Breathing out, the arms relaxing, the hands relaxing. Get the arms, legs, hands and feet breathing together. Notice the arms and legs are different levels. It's like the legs of the hara connect to the bones, the arms more like the heart. The jaw is connected to the higher energies, or the intellect and the higher energies. So you get the arms, legs, hands and feet and jaw breathing in, breathing out, long, slow, relaxed movement. And sometimes on the out breath, everything relax, you can just wait a few seconds and notice what happens when you wait. You may feel flashing in your brain. Wait for a couple of seconds. You don't want to wait too long. Breathe in, breathing out, wait for another couple of seconds. You may feel releasing through your body, you may feel releasing through your brain. Notice how nice the space at the end of the out-breath feels. You don't want to stay there too long because you don't want to totally come out of the rhythm. But each time you stop, the experience gets deeper. And the movement of your hands and feet may be becoming more and more subtle. That's okay. You don't have to stop at the end of every out-breath. You can do some breathing in between, but every so often, stopping at the end of the out-breath, letting things adjust, let the energy go through your brain, through your cranium, let it connect to the higher self. You can stop a couple of times on the in-breath as well. You get a different still point, it just feels different. You may feel it in a different way, but you still get releasing in the brain, in the cranium, in the pelvis. And again, you don't have to stay long because each time you wait, it builds up. And then breathing without leaving long spaces, just breathing in and out. Okay, so we're going to do some movements of the pelvis, but we're not going to go into it in a great deal of depth. And if you're new, you may just want to breathe and do the hands and legs, that is fine. If you become aware of your heels, notice how that connects you to the back of your body, the back of your leg, the back of the pelvis. Feeling the tension through the heels and the back of the legs on the in-breath, and the sacrum slowly tucks under. The spine straightens. Breathing out, the heels relax. The sacrum rocks back. As the tension releases in the back of the legs, the sacrum rocks back. Breathing in, it cups under, and the pelvis opens. Breathing out, it rocks back, and the pelvis closes immediately back towards the middle. Breathing in, feeling the heels of the hands and the heels of the feet, the sacrum rocks under. Breathing out, the sacrum relaxes back. And the same is happening in the lower back of the head. The sacrum relates, back of the pelvis relates to the lower back of the head. The pelvis rocks under, the top part is rocking back, the sit bones, the coccyx are going under, the back of the head opens out to the sides and slightly back. With same movement as the sacrum. Breathing out, it rocks back in. So the same movement happening in the sacrum, happening in the back of the head. And you may just feel it however you're feeling it, and that is fine. Deep, dark energies of the deep earth. As the sacrum rocks under and the occiput opens out, the pelvis opens to the side, the cranium opens to the sides. Breathing out, the sacrum rocks back, the back of the head relaxes back in. And moving to the sides of the legs, the sides of the arms, the sacrum, the pelvis opens to the sides. Breathing out, the pelvis closes back towards the middle, and you feel the whole body. You feel the outsides of the arms, the outside of the pelvis, outside of the legs, the sides of the body, the sides of the cranium. It all opens out to the sides as you breathe in. All relaxes back to the middle as you breathe out. Including the jaw and face opening to the sides as you breathe in. Relaxing back to the middle as you breathe out. Every so often on that out breath, just waiting. Everything opens, the pelvis, the cranium, the face, the arms, legs, everything. Breathing out, everything relaxing back in and everything lengthening. And just wait, for a couple of breaths at the end of a couple of seconds at the end of the out-breath. The outside of the body, the outside of the pelvis, or the sides of the body, the sides of the pelvis, the sides of the head, opening out on the in-breath, closing back in on the out-breath, and pausing. You can pause on the in-breath, you can pause on the out-breath, and just notice what happens in those pauses. Okay, now we're going to include the psoas muscle. We're going to start with the legs. Breathing in, they're torsioning and rolling slightly open. You feel your whole body opening. Breathing out, it's all relaxing and rolling back in. And same with the arms, breathing in, they're torsioning, the hands and feet flattening, and slightly rolling out. Breathing out, they're relaxing and rolling back in. Legs work up through the psoas muscle. The arms work up through the shoulders, shoulder blades. Notice how this releases through your brain. Gives you a much deeper breath in the lungs, connects to the lungs. And psoas muscle really helps the breath through the diaphragm and lungs. The psoas muscle is fundamental to our breath. The psoas muscle is tightening, it's rolling the legs out, it's also pulling the back of the diaphragm down. Balancing all of the vertebrae in the lower back. And wait at the end of the in-breath a few times. And then do a few breaths without any waiting. And then spend some time waiting at the end of the out-breath. Notice your breath is getting longer and slower, and it's as if you don't need the oxygen. It's as if your body no longer needs the oxygen and it can just really slow down. You don't have to be breathing, breathing, breathing to get life. That the breath is longer, you're absorbing life force, and you can allow the carbon dioxide and oxygen to balance in your body. Arms and legs flattening and opening, relaxing and closing. The hands and feet flattening and opening on the in-breath, relaxing and closing back in on the out-breath. The elbows and knees will flatten out on the in-breath. The elbows and knees will relax on the out-breath. Notice how good this is for your diaphragm. Notice how it's really nicely working through your brain, through the meninges of your brain, through the brain cells. Notice how after a while the whole brain is breathing. All the meninges of the brain are breathing, the face and cranium are breathing. And all of the cells of your body start to regenerate. All of your cells start to breathe. The DNA starts to breathe. Everything starts to become reformed, starts to be made anew. The old cells are starting to breathe and being made into new cells. Divine energies from the earth and the higher self, and the divine teachers, the divine energies are coming to you and healing you on every level, on a physical level, on an emotional level, healing the mind, the intellect, clearing the mind and the intellect and letting no mind, and the connection to the beyond and the gods, allowing God in, allowing the Creator in. Gently breathing. Maybe getting subtler and subtler with your arms and legs. There's quite a different energy. It's like it's word. It's like I don't even know how to describe it, but just allowing a very specific energy coming into the group and teaching. It's like how words affect our being. It's divine speech, divine understanding on a cellular and DNA level. Allowing yourself to be spoken to on a divine level. Relax the back of your neck. Relax the back of your body. Okay, we're going to come back in about a minute. Relaxing your throat, relaxing the back of your neck. And sending the thank you to the earth. Thank you to the higher self, the divine teachers, the divine energies. Letting the energies go off for love and healing to the earth. For love and healing to the higher self and divine energies. And allowing yourself to be loved and healed. And letting the energies go out to all sentient beings for love and healing. And you are a sentient being, allowing yourself to be loved and healed. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourself to come back.